My name is Vijay.
I'm Ashwat.
Nelson.
Mutava.
We have started KOTS in 2019. We are a digital-first real estate company. Me and my co-founder and a couple of guys helping us to build this company. So we had to figure out everything from the bottom up, putting the processes in place to understand how do we see this business as a holistic entity.
It is a simple business model we had. That is, there is a tenant for you who is contacting you, who is getting that done for you. Then you're moving the tenant into a full-time guy, and how the full-time guy is handled over a period of time. It is not very cost effective to run renting as a sale, because in a sale probably there's a value of a huge sum, so you can appoint people and keep people to do this for you.
You are trying to build a digital first company with a consumer brand.
You need a very standardized process for everything,
where you expect marketing, operations, accounting, everything to come into one platform.
When we are looking at solutions for it, we would probably, any big company would go for AWS, GCP. But speaking of India and the context of low key, that is much application oriented for us, what we can implement it very fast. That is why we went for Zoho One.
While we evaluated Zoho, we also evaluated many SaaS platforms which were ready to use for our industry. But as a scaling, growing company where you have a lot of operational intensity, you need to evolve your product continuously. Now, this flexibility was missing in the ready-made SaaS products.
What we faced challenges was we have to have layers of systems in place to address each phase of business that we want to take it forward. Now, we have segregated the barrier of before sale, after sale, and your maintenance. Before sale is a layer we built with the help of Desk, because whenever a problem is raised, there's a ticket raised and the ticket flows to different teams, as in every department, and they solve it right then and there.
There were only two people who were handling both support and sales. And once we started growing, we got new projects, new properties started coming up. It got a little difficult after a point of time, because we were mostly working into Google Sheets and all those things. It was hard to track the leads, the people who were texting us, basically the customers, our tenants. They had a lot of issues, but we're not able to address them properly, because in a Google Sheet it is very hard to work. And previously we were also not providing call support or anything. And after we getting introduced to Zoho Desk, we started a call support system as well. So which actually reduced the tickets what we were getting previously. I think 40% of the tenants' issues got reduced because we could call them and resolve the issue.
In Desk, there are such platforms: Instagram, WhatsApp, or any social media you come into play. Your phone calls, your emails, as well as if you have any direct connection with your chatbots that are in place in the site. Everything is a integration that is handled only by Desk. So my team doesn't have to go anywhere to get any data. It is a one-goal platform to get into contact with any person at KOTS.
There's a feature called reports, where you can actually make your own custom reports. You just have to select the data that you need over there, and the report will get generated on its own. So it is pretty seamless for us.
I have got my set of leads. Where would I transform them into a customer? That is where Zoho CRM helped us, because it gave us an holistic view of where your data is consolidated, prepped, and given to them. CRM is not just your relation management software, it's also a database where you have every info on anything and everything that happens in the organization. How the data is coming inside the organization, there is a site that we hold third party that is also integrated with Zoho CRM. Secondly, Desk is also coming into the CRM. Projects, whenever we have a project management team happening, doing stuff on the projects, that is also addressed here. Other than this, whatever happens on your analytics page, that is also data, how data is pulled into the CRM. These three are my primary. There are supporting apps in a lot of other perspectives as well.
Zoho Books is the one platform that all the incomes and expenses we can record it. We are into rental, so we have to issue invoices to the tenants, and we have some bills that we have to pay. From the POs till the payment and recording, we are using only one app. So in Zoho Books, we have automized with banks and gateways like EasyPay and PhonePe. So it's easy to reconcile with the Zoho Books. In expenses, we use Zoho Expenses app. So before we are not using those kind of things. So I have to go through all the things and I have to manually do all those things. So after I introduced to Zoho Expense app, so it is directly coming in the app only. So I can see the receipts, I can directly approve from there and it will directly integrate it with the Zoho Books. So it will directly reflect to the particular customer or vendor.
In KOTS, before any of these modernization or apps used to connect these people around, we had a basic structure where we had WhatsApp groups created for everyone. People talk there. We put info, but mostly it is a one-room team, right? If I want timely attention, answers given to all my tenants' problems, I need a setup in place telling them this is your priority. So that fixing of priority was needed. These 3 problems were solved for me by click. I am talking click on the basis of ticketings. For every problem, it automatically creates a chat communication system. So all my conversations is only there. If I have a problem, until I solve the problem, I can always know what happened. And then in a fraction of a second, I don't have to search through my thing. I can get a pop-up whenever I need, whenever I get it, which is a top cherry on the cake, I would say. In our company, we take project management in a different pattern or fashion we used to take. One thing we do differently is every time a new tenant is there, a new project has to be created. It is not very feasible to create a project every time a new tenant is done. In a normal project tool, you have to enter these data. Let's say whenever I'm creating a project, the project manager should ideally sit there, tell what project should be created, what is the project start date to end date. These all should be changed every time a tenant is done, which is not very reliable as well. At KOTS, we thought was to implement a templatized based system. Zoho Projects has a key feature called templatized project, wherein every time a project is created with a particular template, it would come with a certain fields with certain data types implemented specifically for the problem we are trying to address. So I can basically make any project anytime I want, but on a standardized manner without a human intervention. Thereby, it helps me to solve repetition of data entry, time as well as cost on investment.
Zoho actually gave us that flexibility where they had ready-made application layers. On top of it, you could customize with minimal effort, write your own workflows. That looked fantastic for us. Then we got an idea. It's not just about today. As a growing company, we can align Zoho One to our entire digital transformation strategy.